Hey, this is Adam Torres, and I'm here to tell you that it has never been easier to start your very own podcast. At Mission Matters, our goal is to amplify stories that matter. That means we want to help you start your podcast because your story matters. We can do this in 3 different ways. 1, join our podcast school and take a free or paid course. 2, visit our resources page where we've already figured out what you need, such as where to host your podcast. Or 3, heck, we can even do everything for you through our podcast agency, including editing for cheaper than you can do in-house. Oh, and no contract, service is month to month. Get started by heading over to missionmatters.com and click on Start a Podcast. All right, now let's get into the show.
Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money Podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, today I have Bart Rupert on the line, and he is founder and managing partner over at Spartans Alliance. Bart, welcome to the show.
Hey, Adam, great to be here.
Oh, man, so excited about today's topic, how to buy your competitors. Just throwing this out there. And so for the audience, Bart wrote this headline, and I said he killed it. Normally we go back and forth. I was way off, and I'm like, wait a minute, Bart, you just killed it. Almost 3,000 episodes, and this is the one he came up with. I'm like, we haven't done an episode like this yet, so I'm pumped to get into this, Bart. And just to get us kicked off, though, I do want to talk a little bit more about what you're doing over at Spartans Alliance. So tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Absolutely. So what we're doing today is working with entrepreneurs to help accelerate their goals through inorganic growth, buying and selling companies. And more specifically, we're working with folks to help them buy and sell companies for a living. So when you look at different avenues of being able to achieve growth or success in your life, what Morgan Stanley tells us is that 88% of all new wealth is created through the sale of a small or medium-sized business or through real estate, which is often tied to that. So the upshot of that is as soon as you look at the facts that, hey, nearly 9 out of 10 new dollars that are going out there creating wealth come through these M&A transactions or buying and selling companies, the only question really left in mind is, how do I get in on that? And so that's what we're really doing for the folks today.
Man, that's awesome. I love that. And I know there's a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, executives, people that are younger in their career, people that are very senior. Just to get at the end of this, I'm going to give you the opportunity to leave your contact info so that you can, website or whatever you like, so that people that it makes sense for can follow up and connect. But I do want to make sure that the right types of individuals do connect, whether it's industry or experience level or all the above. What's the right type of person to really work with Spartans Alliance that's typically a good fit?
When we first started off doing this, we thought we would attract people that were senior executives, salespeople, and that would really be the target audience. And the fact of the matter is, nothing's been further from the truth. We've had all walks of life of people showing up, folks that are in construction that are actually doing the construction work, folks that are software developers, people that are digital marketers, all kinds of individuals, because what we've essentially done is created a set of processes and systems that allows virtually anybody to step in and buy a competitor or buy a company. And not only that, be able to acquire that company using none of their own money and then turn around and flip that just like you might flip real estate to be able to capture that margin. So some of the folks that come in, they've got specific goals and they say, I'd like to go through and buy a company that I can run and operate as an ongoing concern. And others may want to come in and just say, I want to buy a company and flip it, take the maximum margin off of that, and then move on to the next one. So it's really custom tailored to whatever the goals of the entrepreneur are.
Man, that's awesome. I love this. And because I don't think many consider, I think a lot of people, when they think about, buying a company or something like that, they're thinking maybe, and there's different models, so I'm not, whether it's franchise or not or otherwise, and that's beyond the scope of this conversation, but sometimes they think they have to be, owner operator, they have to be this, or they have to do that like forever, or they have to, but can you talk about just because you've done this for so long and you've seen so many different types of businesses, can you talk about different scenarios that you've seen? Because I feel like sometimes people, they always feel like they have to start their own business, they have to start from scratch, when sometimes like the thing that makes sense is to buy another business that's already working and operating right. So when I mean the things you see, I mean the type of arrangements or lifestyles that have come from buying a business, whether it's just passive, completely hands off, or day to day in the grind, or can you talk about that a little bit more, like what the lifestyle looks like?
Yeah, I think I'll start with just what leads people down this path, if that's all right. Because primarily what we're looking for as entrepreneurs is a path towards growth, financial growth. And at the end of the day, financial growth, the reason we're after that is really to create freedom. We're wanting to create freedom in our lives. And it just so happens that the entrepreneurial path is a phenomenal way to do that. But I think where most people get stuck within that lifestyle is they think, the only way I can really achieve radical success as a business owner is by growing my company. And so they start to look at, how do I achieve 30% growth instead of 20 or 50% growth or 100% growth? And they go through all this effort to create these campaigns, these digital marketing strategies, these funnels, all kinds of different salespeople, advertising strategies. And that's all good. And Adam, you've got to do that. But the big breakthrough that comes is when you find out, gosh, without using any of my own money, I can actually turn around and buy a competitor and double or triple my revenue overnight. So all of a sudden, if I'm a $5 million company, if I grow 20% and it takes me 3 years to get there, and I've achieved a $6 million company status, I could literally, with the stroke of a pen in one transaction, become a $10 million company just by taking over the next guy over. And most folks don't really go down that path as part of their lifestyle or whatever because they're too intimidated by it. They think that's scary, that's unachievable, that's going to take too much cash. And the reality is that now more than ever, there are ways to be able to do that in a very elegant path that, or through strategies most folks aren't even aware of, to be able to take over that competition, really build up your own empire very, very quickly, and then do whatever you'd like with that. Run it, operate as an ongoing concern, turn around and sell it, give it to somebody else to run, live off the residuals, take equity out of it and just basically live off distribution. It's almost infinite in terms of what that looks like. But the key is when you engage that inorganic growth strategy as part of your approach to growth, then you create advantages for yourself that are unlike anything you can get with strictly organic growth.
What types of industries have you seen this work in? Like, I am just curious, like, is it manufacturing? Is it like digital? Is it online? Is it like, what have you seen, especially that the idea of purchasing, without using your money or using leverage? Tell us a little bit more about that, because I'm just curious.
It's actually harder right now to find an industry that we haven't been in and made this work for.
Wow, that's what I wanted to hear. That's so cool, because there's some people listening right now, and I asked that question because there's some people listening right now like, oh yeah, that'll work, but I'm not a ball bearing company in Indiana, so I can't do that, or I don't want. So I'm like, any industry pretty much is happening in.
Any industry.
Wow, that's
really
awesome.
Doesn't matter. I mean, the thing is, when you develop a system, and this is going back several decades that we started this process, when you develop a system, a process, a set of techniques and strategies that involve being able to assess a company, go through and value that, determine what it looks like if you line up with other companies, negotiate in a way that we call asymmetric negotiation, which is completely different than traditional negotiation, you can literally strike a deal with any industry, in any country, anywhere in the world. And the great thing about that is that at the end of the day, we think about purchasing a company, we think, oh, I'm going to be buying that company. And it makes it feel as if it's a bit separate from what we do day in, day out. The fact of the matter is, a deal is done between two people at the end of the day. It's like me and you sitting down and working out, can we strike a deal, instead of the intimidating idea of two companies trying to get together. And so once you kind of get comfortable with that idea, it doesn't matter if it's a $100 million company that's over in some other country, as long as you can strike the right deal with the individual on the other end of that phone or on that table, then you can get a transaction done.
That's awesome. I love it. It makes a lot of sense, and I think it's the right route for many people. And I know we just barely scratched the surface on this one, because we can talk about this all day long. I have like 50 more questions for you, and I know you can do a master class on this thing as long as you've been doing this. But that being said, so if somebody is listening to this and they want more information and they want to connect with you and your team, what's the best way for them to reach out and to learn more about Spartans Alliance, and maybe if this makes sense for them?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we do, in fact, have a master class, and we've got a number of different strategies and techniques people can use and leverage. But you can also go and check out our website, which has links to social media and a ton of videos, content, et cetera, to just get an idea of a feel for some of the strategy. You can hit us up on the web at www.spartansalliance.com. That's Spartans with an S, alliance.com.
Fantastic. Well, Bart, really appreciate your time today and sharing more about your background and all the great stuff you're doing over at Spartans Alliance to help, our entrepreneurs out there succeed, thrive, and grow their businesses. So awesome stuff there. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Money, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments on the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Bart, thanks again for coming on the show.
All right. Thanks, Adam.